Hello, welcome back everyone. Today is October 23rd. We are in the final stretch of the 30 video day challenge. Today's video is going to be about surrounding yourself with good quality people. So if we take a moment to reflect on how we tend to become surrounded by certain people, you'll notice that there's kind of two main camps initially. You have your family, which you didn't choose, you're just born into, and then you have your friends through school, which in a similar sense you don't necessarily choose, you're kind of stuck with. And depending on where you live, where you are, you may be stuck with some of these people for several years. And even though oftentimes, even at school, it can feel sort of like a choice that, these are my specific friends. What I mean by referencing school is just that you tend to get stuck with a certain group of people. You surround yourself with those people. Sometimes what happens is that by the time you're like 10, 11, 12 years old, you get stuck with a group of people and you might be in school with many of these people until you're like 17, 18 years old and you're done public education, at least here in Canada. And so sometimes what we'll find in our lives is that we are surrounded by people that we didn't intentionally choose. The cons of this are that sometimes you don't realize the negative aspects or characteristics of these individuals. As time passes, you might not realize how much you've grown apart, in what ways you're different. Because you tend to stick with the people you kind of first hang out with, what happens is that you don't realize how much you might connect with other people more. And overall, those two main avenues can really make or break someone's experience, especially until their early kind of young adulthood. And I'm not speaking ill on school friends or family as friends. The emphasis of this video is to find good quality people to surround yourself by. For some people, their siblings, their parents, their cousins are just not good to them. There's kind of a lot of dysfunctional families out there, and it's really sad. For many other people, maybe they get pigeonholed into a certain group of people and they just keep going along with them as friends in school because they're stuck together in the same classes, the same schools, or the same social circles. And while you're in it, it can be at times difficult to address and acknowledge the toxicity that occurs in a friend group. That could be a variety of things. It could just be primarily their feeling towards life, their attitude towards their day-to-day business. And if you're surrounded by people who have this lower attitude, this lower emotion, this kind of lower state towards life, so they're always sort of pessimistic, they're always kind of negative, or even often, it isn't necessarily that they're always this way, but even often, that will start to permeate into your own life, and you will find that you start to think of things that way and you start operating in this mindset. There's a really good quote that says, "You are the sum of the 5 people you hang out the most with." And so when you're going through life, continue to evaluate the people in your life. I saw this question online recently that I thought was very good. As you age and continue your friendships, ask yourself this question: if I met this person today, would we be friends? And really do a good evaluation of people that you have known for several years, perhaps 2 decades. Because life has a weird way of kind of breaking people down and wearing people down or lifting them up or just throwing curveballs at them. And the same person that you were friends with in junior high and high school, and they were very fun and happy to be around, but by the time they're in their 20s and 30s, they're just no longer the same person. And they tend to have this kind of toxic or inappropriate behavior to themselves. You don't need to continue to surround yourself with that person. And it can feel very difficult, but you must ask yourself, do I want to continue spending 5 or 10 years hanging out with this person? Do the beliefs that this individual hold, do they reflect the person that I'm trying to be? Would I be proud to introduce this person to other people I know? Would I feel embarrassed by their presence or their company or their actions? And this might sound judgmental, and quite frankly it is, but at the end of the day, who do you want to be surrounded by? Like, how do you want your existence to be on a day-to-day basis? Do you want to have to walk on eggshells? Do you want to have to always be kind of negative? Do you always want to have to be explaining someone else's behavior? Especially as you age and become an adult, the last thing you want to do is deal with nonsense. Life is difficult enough as is. You don't need poor quality friends around you, people around you that bring things down for you. And as the Stoics say, you're really only responsible for yourself. You're responsible for your own actions. You're responsible for your own growth. You're only in control of yourself. And so if you find yourself having to explain and to justify and rationalize someone's behavior, and it's always kind of you doing this extra work instead of that person choosing to grow as an individual, to grow up and to mature, Ask yourself, is that really someone you want to be hanging around with? On the flip side, on the more positive side, you want to make sure that as you continue to age and grow and develop, that you are surrounding yourself with people who are supportive of the things you are doing, assuming that these are good things. Because what you focus on grows. So if you have, a bad habit and you surround yourself with people who also engage and indulge in that bad habit, well, they're going to support you doing that and it's going to pull you in one direction. But if you have a good habit, one that benefits you, that is good for your health, your mental well-being, and your future, those people are also going to support you. When you disengage, they might reach out to you and say, hey, where are you at? We haven't seen you in a while. When you meet them in the places that you congregate, they'll be happy to see you. And this goes on both sides. And so who you surround yourself with really shapes who you become and the life you lead. So if there's any homework to take away from today's video, it would be to take an evaluation of the people that are in your life. Who do you have in your life that is constantly negative and in a lower state about life? Who do you have in your life that feels like an energy vampire? They're just pulling energy from you and they're difficult to be around. Who in your life is not supportive of the good things you're doing? Who in your life is someone you find you can't share good news with because they have to have the attention on them? They just divert it from you. They don't celebrate your wins. So ask yourself these questions, take an evaluation of the people that you surround yourself with, and ask yourself, would I still be friends with this person if I met them today? And ultimately, to conclude, ask yourself, become more self-aware of when you are a bad friend to the people around you. Hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you. Take care.